I'm an Italian chef that from Italy, I moved all the way to Texas to work for the very best barbecue restaurant in business, to master the craft of barbecue. Now I'll teach barbecue worldwide. My name is Max and this is Texicana BBQ. What's up everybody, Texicana BBQ. Today we're cooking barbecue in South Africa at the Salt Slab Butcher Shop and Barbecue. We're butchering over here, we have an event tomorrow. So Max Texicana is in Africa, everybody's expecting badass food, which I'll promise you that we are going to have it. But this is what I want. And they give me this. So yeah, we got like some work to do over here. Separate the brisket from the navel. How to do it? I'll show you 1 second. Yeah, I'll show you 1 second. Okay? Navel. Brisket. Let's do it. Hey. Was like this. Okay, what we have done it. Woo! We made a cabrio. We removed it. Okay, now the navel. Personally, when I do beef bacon, I like to do more. This is basically out of this, at this, I don't know, square, or just give it a decent shape. You can cure all this, but as you can see, there is an excess of fat. You know, you can have this as a beef bacon. I like a little square. You know, you can go with the whole thing, or you can just clean them up a little bit. Okay, we'll shape. Shape, and this is gonna be our bacon. Now there are a couple of ways to do it. What I like to do, I use what we call a wet brine. We're gonna bring this in and we're gonna dump for a week in the same brine that we just used for the pastrami. Or if we wanna speed up the process like we just did for pastrami, we can inject this a little bit. Consider that if you're injecting fat, it's going nowhere. The injection, it has to be in the lean part, okay? So now over here we have our brisket. We're gonna inject it. Basically, this injection we're gonna speed up the process quite a bit. In 1 day, there's another video that I made, 1 day pastrami. When we inject this bad boy, basically, a pastrami takes about 2 quarts roughly of brine. You can see the recipe of the brine. Watch out your eyes because this can squirt a lot. Here's definitely a squirter. And we're good with the injection. Next step will be to season it. Boom, and we'll throw it in the smoker. And we treat it completely like a brisket. We cook like a brisket. The only difference we have, it will be a little bit more stubborn than a brisket. So if a brisket will take, for example, 10 hours, this will probably take a little longer, okay? Seasoning, super simple. We do the edges, we do this, we do that. Very nice. What we're gonna do with this brisket, we're gonna cook those brisket. We'll push it today. We start right off the bat at 260 to 70. We're a little bit late. This African mustard, little weird. But I'm an open-minded guy. Okay, you know, seasoning, we gotta be even. We gotta be nice. This is mesh 17, right, Mike?
Yes.
It does look like a little same, yeah?
Does it look too big? Max is going to go home and patent mesh 17.
Now this is the secret, guys.
All the
The new
barbecue.
secret is revealed. 16 is bullshit. It's 17, boys. Okay. So this is our smoker, made in Africa. Our buddy Mike made this smoker. The cost of the smoker, how much it cost you in dollars, American dollars?
About $2,000.
About $2,000. Is it perfect smoker? No. Is it total piece of shit? No. We've been cooking. It's a good smoker. We've done a couple of things different. It seems that the people struggle a lot with the door, okay? With the door. And I have the same problem in Europe. So we don't have propane tanks. They're not popular. So they have to make the cylinder, and the cylinder it spreads a lot. So the door, they do spread a lot, and they have leakage. Now a leakage. Me personally, I never gave a shit about the leakage of the door. I think that the leakage of the door, they made such a big deal. Brand like a lot of pellet smoker or whatever, because they say, oh, it's a super sealed door and blah blah blah. But me personally, I like having hot spot and cold spot in my smoker. So to me, once a door leaks, it's not a big deal. What's important instead is the thickness of the smoker. That's I really care, because to maintain the temperature of a smoker that is not thick, it's going to be very hard. It's going to be a struggle. But this overall is a good smoker. 1 out of 10, I will give a 7.5. It's a discreet smoker. I like it. So we're putting moist towards the fire. Woo! Moist towards the fire. Big boy here. It's a big boy. Okay, we're gonna run. For now, we're gonna run about 260, 270. We're a little bit late today, so we're gonna be pushy. Over here we have some beef ribs. We're talking about brisket today, but since we're cooking beef ribs too, let's talk a little bit about beef ribs. Same principle. The cut is a little bit different than the one that we have in the United States. So over here, this is a 4-bone beef ribs right here. As you can see, so what we have in America is this, okay? Instead, I've seen in Latin America and in South Africa, they're gonna give you the beef ribs also with this other piece of meat attached. And as you can notice, this is much less marbled than this part. So what we want is this beautiful meat. We don't want this. If you cook it together, this is gonna be moist and nice, and this is always gonna be a little bit drier. And also, you're gonna have these big pockets of fat, which is very unpleasant. I noticed that in Brazil, they do beef ribs like that, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove this guy. It almost, remove this guy like this. Here we go. And now we work on our beef ribs now, the way we know. We're back to the United States. An interesting fact about the way they do the grading system in South Africa. In America we have choice, prime, select, and all this. In South Africa they have like silver, gold, bronze, platinum, and all this depends on how much is marble. So over here, it says, for example, it says silver, which is it's pretty high, silver, MS67. So that means that this is silver. So the age of the marbling
It's the marbling score.
the marbling score.
How much marbling's in the meat here?
So silver, the marbling score is between 6 and 7. You know, just a little different system. So this is pretty good quality, very good quality actually. So that's it. Working our fat is way too much fat. Probably out of these 4 bone, we're gonna lose this bone at the end of the story. What I do here, I don't like to trim it off the silver skin, but I like to apply some cut because the silver skin I need it for to keep it together my bones. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Most of the fat I remove it, not completely. To a certain extent, it will melt. Okay, here we go. So we have our little, our little bone. They're gonna shrink. If you do this, guys, wash the meat very well. Wash the meat very well, because what's the difference between this saw and that saw is that this saw gonna leave much more particles in your meat. Now, meanwhile, our brisket is doing all right. Ribs. Ribs. Okay, rolling with our brisket. Our brisket, we don't touch it, we don't look it, we don't open, we don't do nothing with the brisket. Doesn't it spritz? Spritzing to me doesn't make sense to begin with. See now, it's creating a crust, everything is running beautiful. So I'm saying that spritzing, there's no need because the fat cap will gonna start sweating. So if you're impatient, you keep spritzing, that's why you're gonna wash your bark. You're gonna wash out your bark. Me personally, I never spritz. Only in rare occasion, okay? You silly. All right, 5 hours into the cook, we're pushing it. We're going 260, 270 right now. We have our beef ribs, our brisket. It's time now to cover the edges. This time I'm probably gonna wrap in butcher paper. Butcher paper is good for you. Yeah, everything is going smoothly. We have a pastrami here. So we can see, just we have to look at the meat, what the meat is telling us. And the meat is telling us we're doing pretty good. So it doesn't need spritz. I didn't spritz at all these briskets. Don't need spritz. They're doing just fine. We're leaving them alone. And we're good. So what we see now, we see that this ribs is a little bit ahead. Why? Because probably the heat, the way it's moving, it's more aggressive in this side. So every time the heats move, we think that we know how the heat moves, but if you play with heats long enough, it's hard to figure it out. So somehow the heat is greater here. But if you notice, between this and this is pulling, this is not. Why? Who knows? This is a mystery of barbecue. We go like this, we push even further. I'm pushing 280, pushing 280. That's it. Once we get to 170 internal for the brisket and the pastrami, I think we're pretty good. Meanwhile, the navel is brining a little bit. It's a quick brine. So I have injected a little bit and I put into the brine to speed up the process. The navel won't take very long to cook. So I'll probably do it tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. So beef rib wise, the beef ribs, same thing. Once I'm happy with the bark, 170ish, internal, I'm gonna wrap them up. But if you wanna go naked, you can totally go naked. There's no problem whatsoever. Okay, ciao. We're gonna wrap like this. I need how many brisket we have in there?
Brisket, 1, 3.
3. Okay, one is pastrami. Is gonna be so 2. I need 4 pieces, like big like this. This is how you got wrapper. Okay, boom. Another 3 pieces, and we're gonna wrap it in there. 3 pieces like this. 3 pieces like this. So we're about time to wrap. Yes, sir. We're about time to wrap. How many hours we are ready to cook, Mike?
We are 8, 12, we are 8 hours.
8 hours into the cook. Yeah, makes sense. 8 hours. So time to wrap.
Running.
So the beef ribs, we wrapped it already. Looking pretty sexy. Okay, we liked it. So these are 2 pastrami. Sorry, this is 2 brisket, and that one over there is a pastrami. We're looking good. So what we're looking at the bark is nice and set. You see how firm is the bark. There's not much moisture around. That's very important. Yeah, they're looking pretty. They're looking pretty. So now I need when you do me a favor. You spritz the whole thing like all over, and then we're gonna wrap it up. That's it. Do we need tallow or no?
No.
No, okay, no tallow. He knows.
I'll tell her just on the point.
I don't know.
Okay, like this, yeah. But we gotta go straight, like this, okay? You watch, because the next one is you, okay? Look what I done. Okay, 2 pieces, right? We need this much and this much. Then we're gonna wrap. Actually, you know what? We're gonna give it a spritz. Then we're gonna wrap. Boom. 1, 1.
Yeah.
This is important. Put your hand like this. Boom. Like that. Done. This. The important thing is you don't have to go like you have to go straight. Okay, straight like this. Now watch this. We flip it 1 time. With your thumb, you hold. Now you see this? Now you're gonna flip another time, like this. We don't want all this paper hanging here, so we flip like this. This. Whoop. Boom. And we have our brisket wrapped. Okay? Spritz. Spritz. Now, same. 3 hour, 3.5 hour, 300. We're at internal temperature of 160. Well, 160 was an hour ago, man. Now it's like more 170. 165, 170. Okay. Little spritz, that's it. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay. Show what you got. See what you got. Like that, hold on 1 second, yeah. Good. This look, this, like this, in your hand, Good. Now the flip is very important because it has to be tight, okay? Go ahead. Good job. Now, with your little thumb, like here. Beautiful. It's good. Yeah. Now, with your hand, wrap them up a little bit. Guys, I've trained so many people and nobody is learned as quick as this kid. I swear to God. Okay. Now, Manny, we had to get the foil. We're gonna wrap this because the pastrami, we have to recognize if it's pastrami or not, otherwise we get confused. We get the foil and the aluminum and we wrap it up in the aluminum. Okay, same with the same move that you did with the butcher paper. Okay, same. So pastrami, as I mentioned, is a little bit more stubborn. That's why we do in butcher paper, in aluminum. On the 3-hour mark, it's probably gonna be ready. So wrapping in aluminum. I like have wrap in aluminum. Normally, I wrap everything, brisket and pastrami in aluminum. But you have to set your bark very well. Now, normally, what's the normal procedure on cooking a brisket? It's like 6-7 hours. You set your bark, 170, then you wrap. But always you gotta look at the meat. Look at your meat talks to you. Now this is good, man. It's good because we need to. So this was the bottom, right? Okay. Flip. Beautiful. Now with your hand, make it tight. Awesomeness. Okay. Now, Manny, this is the point, and this is the flat. Okay. The point always goes towards the fire. The fire is there, goes towards the fire. Let's load them up. Put it inside the smoke. This has to go look that way. Beautiful. Now, we always follow this, grab, and put on that side. That side, because over there is very hot, it cooks fast. Lift. You gotta stretch a little bit. Okay, beautiful. Okay, this guy, same thing, right beside there, but always lift. And this guy, we'll put it here. Now, can you get me a thermopen?
Sorry.
Let's temp those ribs where they're at. The ribs, I mean, you see, you don't have to touch the bone because the bone is always very, very hot. So you have to be in between. 198. Okay, still got a minute. Beautiful. Okay, let's go now. We're gonna go 300. Previously we were rocking at, we've been pushing to the whole cook, 260, 270, because we weren't that busy today, so we're over here. Man, come here, I'll show you the fire. Come. Over here. So you do 1 and 2. So what you have to do is this one. Look, you have 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay? But you have to do that in there. Done. You have 1 already. You have to put another 1, 1. Okay? Let's do it. Okay. All right. So what's gonna happen? The air is gonna go in there, right? That's it. Now, because the air has to go in there, if we lift this a little bit, it will catch. If it doesn't, we'll blow a little bit. See? Because the oxygen basically gonna feed the fire. That's it. And it will be good. Now, because we have to run at 300, maybe we'll put the extra, you can say, we'll put an extra piece. Over there. Close the door. And we're good. Alhamdulillah. Okay, we are about ready to pull pull them on, don't worry about it. We're about to pull the beef ribs. My assistant over here. What's up? Right, and beef ribs are ready. Hot tamales.
Ciao, signoretta beef brisket.
Yeah, the brisket has still got a little to go. So a little pro tip about beef ribs. Beef ribs, they have a lot of connective tissue in it. So from the smoker, they don't rest to 160 straight in the warmer. Now, I have to use this tomorrow, But if tomorrow I'll check them out, they normally when they start getting about to 160, 170, the cool down to 160, 170 tend to toughen up a little bit. So if that is the case, I'll put back in the pit, give it a nice shot. So bottom line, the thing is this: the connective tissue that normally melts to 185, 195, because the beef ribs they're so rich, even more than a brisket. The connective tissue it never breaks completely, which in a brisket it kind of does. So it tends to toughen up pretty bad. So solution which gonna be that we put in a warmer hot, we don't let it cool down, and we serve it kind of more hot than warm. Okay, I'm mumbling a little bit. We're fucking tired, but that's barbecue life, baby. The warmer, ready to go in the warmer. Warmer at what temperature? 60 degrees is about what? 150, 160? Something like that.
65.
Life. Barbecue life. Oh yes. This is good. So what we're feeling, it's been now 11 hour, Mike.
Yes,
11ish.
almost 12 actually.
Almost 12 hours. Yeah, we've been wrapped for 3 hours, 3 good hours. So we're feeling with the center of the flat. Last part is gonna break. Now we have to consider that this brisket we're gonna serve it tomorrow, probably 11, 12. Now what time is it? Midnight?
Midnight.
Okay, so I'm gonna have quite a bit of a rest. If I had to serve this, the scenario was that I had to serve this brisket at like in few hours, I might get in there a little longer. But consider this long rest, this should be fine. We'll let it rest, we'll let it calm down to 160, 155, 160. The warmer will match the same temperature and we're gonna be fine. The brisket and the other one, because they were a little bit bigger, and the pastrami, it still needs a minute. But so far, we're tired as fuck. Tomorrow will be another day. But that's barbecue life, baby.